6 months from now, your life can look completely different, or it can look exactly the same. The difference will not be luck, intelligence, or circumstances. The difference will be the decisions you make today and the disciplines you practice tomorrow. Time is neutral. It doesn't reward or punish. It simply delivers the results of how you use it. 6 months may not sound like much, but when guided by purpose and consistency, it is more than enough to change direction, build momentum, and rewrite your personal story. Every transformation begins with clarity. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. A 6-month success plan starts by deciding what you truly want, not what sounds impressive, not what others expect, but what genuinely matters to you. When your goals are clear, your days gain direction. Clarity eliminates confusion, and confusion is one of the greatest thieves of energy. When you know where you're going, even slow progress feels meaningful. Once the destination is clear, discipline becomes the bridge. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline quietly stays. Success is not the result of one heroic effort. It is the result of ordinary actions done consistently. Reading 10 pages a day, practicing a skill for 30 minutes, saving a small amount regularly. These actions may seem insignificant, but time multiplies whatever you repeat. In 6 months, small daily disciplines can outperform years of scattered effort. Consistency creates momentum, and momentum creates belief. The more you keep promises to yourself, the stronger your confidence becomes. You begin to trust yourself again, and that trust is priceless, because when challenges appear, and they will, you won't quit at the first sign of difficulty. You'll adjust, learn, and continue forward. Your environment also plays a powerful role in your transformation. You become a reflection of what you listen to, who you spend time with, and what you allow into your mind daily. If you want a better future, you must place yourself in better influences. This doesn't require abandoning everyone. It requires choosing growth more often than comfort. When your environment supports your goals, progress feels lighter and resistance weakens. At the center of all progress is personal responsibility. The moment you accept full responsibility for your results is the moment you reclaim your power. Blame feels convenient, but it keeps you stuck. Responsibility may feel heavy at first, but it gives you control. When you own your choices, you own your future. And ownership is where real confidence is born. A 6-month plan also demands reflection, not to judge yourself harshly, but to measure honestly. What's working? What isn't? Progress doesn't require perfection. It requires correction. Review your actions, refine your approach, and recommit. Growth is not a straight line. It's a series of thoughtful adjustments made by someone who refuses to quit. 6 months from today, you will arrive somewhere. The question is whether you arrive by design or by default. Start now. Decide. Commit. Act daily. Protect your environment. Take responsibility. Review and refine. If you do these things, 6 months won't just pass. You will rise with them. A clear vision is the starting point of every meaningful transformation, because it gives direction to your effort and purpose to your time. Without vision, people stay busy but not productive, active but not advancing. They wake up each day reacting to circumstances instead of intentionally shaping outcomes. Vision is not about vague wishes or distant dreams. It is about defining in practical terms what you want your life to look like and why it matters deeply to you. When you know what you're aiming for, your mind begins to filter opportunities, decisions, and actions through that lens, making progress more natural and focused. Time by itself does nothing special. 6 months can either slip away unnoticed or become a powerful turning point. Vision is what transforms time into an ally. When your direction is clear, each day becomes a small investment toward a larger outcome. You stop drifting and start moving with purpose. Even setbacks feel different because you can see how they fit into the bigger picture. Vision gives you patience because you understand that meaningful results require consistent effort over time. A strong vision also fuels commitment. People often quit not because the goal is too hard, but because it is unclear. When the picture of your future is vivid, sacrifice feels worthwhile. Early mornings, difficult conversations, and disciplined habits stop feeling like punishment and start feeling like preparation. Vision connects today's effort to tomorrow's reward, and that connection is what keeps you moving forward when motivation fades. Clarity in vision also simplifies decision-making. When you know where you are going, it becomes easier to say no to distractions and yes to growth. You begin to recognize which habits serve your future and which ones steal from it. This clarity reduces inner conflict and mental fatigue, allowing you to focus your energy on actions that actually matter. Instead of trying everything, you concentrate on what aligns with your desired outcome. Another powerful aspect of vision is that it shapes identity. When you define where you are headed, you begin to see yourself as the person capable of getting there. Your self-image starts to shift. You act differently because you believe differently. This internal change often happens before any external results appear, yet it is one of the most important steps in long-term success. Vision does not need to be perfect or permanent. It needs to be honest and meaningful. As you grow, your vision may evolve, but having one is far better than wandering without direction. A 6-month success plan rooted in clear vision gives your actions meaning, your time value, and your effort direction, allowing steady progress to replace confusion and intentional growth to replace random motion. Daily discipline is the quiet force that shapes extraordinary outcomes, often without drawing attention to itself. Many people wait for motivation to strike before they take action, but motivation is unpredictable and emotional. Discipline, on the other hand, is dependable. It is the decision to act regardless of how you feel. When you understand this difference, you stop depending on inspiration and start building a system that carries you forward even on difficult days. Discipline is not about extreme effort or exhausting routines. It is about doing simple, useful actions consistently. Small behaviors repeated daily create a rhythm, and that rhythm becomes a lifestyle. Waking up at a certain time, dedicating focused minutes to learning, practicing a skill, or improving health may seem ordinary, but ordinary actions performed with consistency produce extraordinary results over time. Discipline turns potential into progress. One of the greatest benefits of daily discipline is that it reduces internal resistance. The more often you follow through, the less energy it takes to start. Action becomes automatic and excuses lose their power. Instead of negotiating with yourself every day, you develop habits that carry you forward. This mental efficiency frees your energy for creativity, problem solving, and growth rather than constant self-debate. Discipline also builds self-respect. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows quietly but steadily. You begin to trust your own word. This trust is essential because success requires long-term commitment. When challenges arise, and they always do, disciplined individuals don't collapse under pressure. They adjust their approach and continue moving forward. Discipline creates resilience, and resilience sustains progress. Another powerful aspect of discipline is that it compounds. One day of effort may not show visible results, but 30, 90, or 180 days of steady action create undeniable change. Discipline works in the background, strengthening skills, sharpening focus, and building momentum long before the results become obvious to others. By the time success becomes visible, discipline has already done most of its work. Daily discipline also shifts your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. This identity shift changes the way you approach challenges and opportunities. You no longer ask whether you feel like doing the work. You ask what needs to be done next. That mindset alone separates those who progress from those who remain stuck. In a 6-month success plan, discipline matters more than intensity. You don't need perfect days. You need consistent ones. When discipline becomes part of who you are, progress stops being a struggle and starts becoming a natural outcome of how you live your life day after day. Small, consistent actions are the building blocks of lasting success. Even though they are often underestimated or ignored, people tend to look for dramatic changes or quick breakthroughs, believing that massive results require massive effort. In reality, progress is usually quiet and gradual. It is the result of simple actions repeated day after day. What makes these actions powerful is not their size, but their consistency. When something small is done regularly, time amplifies its impact in ways that are easy to overlook in the beginning. Consistency allows effort to compound. Just as money grows through interest, actions grow through repetition. A few minutes of focused learning each day may not seem impressive, but over weeks and months, it builds knowledge, confidence, and skill. A small improvement in attitude, health, or productivity may go unnoticed at first, yet these minor gains stack on top of each other until they create visible transformation. Compounding works silently, rewarding patience and persistence. One of the reasons small actions are so effective is that they reduce resistance. Big goals can feel overwhelming, leading to procrastination or fear of failure. Small steps feel manageable. They lower the emotional barrier to starting, making it easier to stay consistent. When the task feels achievable, you are more likely to show up. And showing up is the true secret behind progress. Momentum begins with movement, not perfection. Consistency also strengthens belief. Every time you complete a small action, you reinforce the idea that progress is possible. This builds confidence not through words, but through experience. Over time, your mindset shifts from hoping for change to expecting it. That expectation fuels further action, creating a positive cycle where effort and belief reinforce each other. Another important benefit of small, consistent actions is that they create stability. Life is unpredictable, and relying on bursts of motivation can lead to long periods of inactivity. Consistent habits provide structure even when circumstances are challenging. On difficult days, small actions keep you connected to your goals without demanding more energy than you can give. They protect progress during times when motivation is low. These actions also shape character. What you do repeatedly becomes part of who you are. Small habits, whether positive or negative, define your identity over time. By choosing small actions that align with your goals, you are not just working toward a result. You are becoming the type of person capable of achieving it. This internal transformation is often more powerful than the external outcome. In a 6-month success plan, it is not the dramatic moments that create change, but the quiet commitment to small actions done consistently. When patience meets persistence, compounding takes over and gradual effort turns into meaningful, lasting transformation that continues to grow beyond the original goal. Your environment and relationships quietly influence your direction more than most people realize. Success is rarely achieved in isolation, and failure is often reinforced by surroundings that encourage comfort over growth. The places you spend time, the conversations you engage in, and the people you listen to shape your thoughts, habits, and expectations. Whether intentionally or not, your environment is constantly giving you signals about what is normal, possible, and acceptable. When your environment supports growth, progress feels lighter. Positive influences reinforce discipline, encourage learning, and normalize effort. On the other hand, environments that promote negativity, distraction, or complacency make improvement feel like a struggle. This does not mean you must completely change your life overnight, but it does mean you must become more selective. Even small adjustments, such as what you read, what you watch, and who you spend your free time with, can significantly shift your mindset over 6 months. Relationships play a particularly powerful role. You tend to rise or fall to the level of expectations around you. When you are surrounded by people who value growth, responsibility, and progress, their standards quietly become yours. They challenge you, sometimes without words, simply by example. In contrast, constant exposure to discouragement or excuses can slowly weaken your ambition. Not because you lack ability, but because repeated messages shape belief. Choosing better influences is not about judgment or rejection. It is about direction. You can care about people without allowing every influence to shape your future. Protecting your goals sometimes requires limiting access to environments that drain your energy or undermine your focus. This is an act of self-respect, not selfishness. Growth often requires difficult choices before it delivers rewarding results. Your physical environment also matters. Cluttered spaces create mental noise, while organized spaces promote clarity and focus. A dedicated place to work, reflect, or learn sends a signal to your mind that progress is important. When your surroundings reflect your intentions, it becomes easier to act in alignment with your goals. The external order supports internal discipline. Another overlooked aspect of environment is what you consistently allow into your mind. Music, news, conversations, and digital content all influence mood and thought patterns. Feeding your mind with ideas that inspire growth strengthens your ability to stay focused and optimistic. Over time, this mental environment becomes a powerful source of motivation and resilience. In a 6-month success plan, shaping your environment is not optional, it is strategic. When your surroundings and relationships support who you are becoming, effort feels more natural and progress becomes sustainable. Allowing your goals to grow in an atmosphere that encourages forward movement rather than constant resistance. Personal responsibility is the moment you reclaim control over your life and your future. It begins when you stop blaming circumstances, people, or past events for your current situation and start recognizing your role in the results you experience. This shift is not always comfortable, but it is powerful. As long as responsibility is placed elsewhere, progress remains limited. When responsibility is accepted, choice returns, and with choice comes the ability to change direction. Taking responsibility does not mean denying challenges or pretending life is easy. It means understanding that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you do control how you respond. Your habits, decisions, and attitudes shape your outcomes over time. When you accept this truth, you move from a position of helplessness to one of ownership. Ownership creates confidence because it reminds you that your actions matter. Responsibility also brings clarity. When you stop making excuses, you begin to see situations more honestly. Instead of asking why things are unfair, you ask what you can do next. This shift in thinking opens the door to solutions. Progress accelerates when energy is directed toward improvement rather than justification. Responsibility removes the mental clutter that keeps people stuck and replaces it with purposeful action. Another powerful aspect of personal responsibility is that it builds discipline and integrity. When you hold yourself accountable, you develop consistency in behavior and character. You no longer rely on external pressure to perform. Your standards come from within. This internal accountability strengthens self-respect and reinforces trust in yourself. Over time, you become someone who follows through, not because you are forced to, but because it aligns with who you choose to be. Responsibility also improves relationships and opportunities. People naturally respect those who take ownership of their actions. Trust grows when you accept mistakes, learn from them, and adjust. In professional and personal settings, this quality sets you apart. It signals maturity, reliability, and readiness for greater responsibility. Opportunities often follow those who demonstrate they can be trusted with outcomes. In a 6-month success plan, responsibility acts as the foundation. Without it, goals remain wishes and plans remain ideas. With it, effort becomes focused and progress becomes measurable. Each day, responsibility guides choices, shapes habits, and reinforces commitment. It reminds you that your future is not something that happens to you, but something you actively create through consistent, intentional action and the willingness to own both the process and the results that follow from it. Progress that lasts is built on reflection, adjustment, and renewed commitment. Many people work hard but remain stuck because they never pause to evaluate whether their effort is producing the right results. A 6-month success plan is not about rigidly following a path no matter what happens. It is about staying aware, learning from experience, and making intelligent changes along the way. Reflection turns experience into insight, and insight turns effort into improvement. Regular review allows you to measure what is truly working. Without review, you rely on feelings instead of facts. You may feel busy, but review reveals whether you are effective. Looking honestly at your action, habits, and results helps you identify strengths to build on and weaknesses to correct. This process is not about self-criticism. It is about self-awareness. Awareness is essential because you cannot improve what you refuse to examine. Adjustment is the natural partner of reflection. Once you see what is not working, the next step is to refine your approach. This may mean changing strategies, improving skills, or reallocating time and energy. Adjustment keeps you flexible and responsive rather than stubborn and stuck. Life changes, circumstances shift, and growth requires the ability to adapt. Those who succeed are not the ones who never make mistakes, but the ones who learn quickly and adjust wisely. Commitment is what holds everything together. Reflection without commitment leads to overthinking, and adjustment without commitment leads to inconsistency. Commitment means deciding to continue even when progress feels slow or unclear. It means staying faithful to the process while remaining open to improvement. True commitment is not blind persistence. It is persistence guided by learning. You stay in motion while refining direction. Reviewing your progress also strengthens confidence. When you track improvement, even small wins become visible. This reinforces belief and motivation. You begin to see proof that your effort matters. Confidence grows not from perfection, but from evidence of progress. Each review reminds you how far you have come and clarifies what still needs attention. Another benefit of reflection is alignment. Over time, goals can drift and effort can become misdirected. Regular review helps you reconnect with your original purpose. It ensures that your actions still match your values and long-term vision. When alignment is restored, energy returns and progress feels more meaningful. In a 6-month success plan, review and adjustment prevent stagnation and burnout. They keep growth intentional and sustainable. Commitment ensures that lessons are applied, not ignored. When you consistently reflect, refine, and recommit, progress becomes inevitable, and improvement turns into a lifelong habit rather than a temporary phase of effort and intention guided by purpose and awareness.